What's going on, everybody? Well, let's see here. I'll start my event and we'll wait for a minute or two. I do have a kind of a cool trade to show you guys tonight. Um, it's more of a YOLO kind of gamble thing, but the risk to reward is unreal. And it's one of the few trades that I like from this one guy who I follow. So we'll see how it goes. I'll get into that here in a little bit, but pretty interesting day, honestly. Tesla is just really hurting. Um, I would love to see this down closer to 150. If I can see that, I'm probably buying leap calls on this and just holding for a couple months because I don't really want to bet against Elon. I've seen Tesla go on insane runs, especially after really big dips. I'm not going to miss the chance again, especially if we come down here like we saw back in early 2023, back in 120, 100 range. I mean, that's crazy. So if we can see that again, you better believe I'm going to be trying to swing upside on a bounce. All it takes is a little bit of good news, and any Tesla bear is probably going to start moving out of the way. So, but yeah, I'll wait. I don't know. It's already 8:03 my time, so maybe 2 more minutes, and then I'll get started. But yeah, so let me see here real quick, since it's only a few of us here. Let me stop sharing my screen and share the whole screen because I'm going to pull up some other tabs at one point here. So we will see. Let me do another announcement. But yeah, so the coaching stuff starting next week. I already have my channels set up. I'll show you guys a quick little picture of it. It's tough for me to always be looking at all the channels, just because, I mean, there's social chat, stock chat, options chat, free chat. There's just so much going on. And I rather people that want to talk to me and ask me stuff, I'd rather it be in a place like this. So pretty much the walkthrough tab is that top one there. And that's just going to be a walkthrough, really what I do. How I set things up, blah, blah, blah. And then day trade chat is pretty much just where I will be looking 24/7 to answer questions and talk throughout the day, whether I am at my desk or at school or whatever. I always have my phone on me. Y'all wouldn't even believe the amount of notifications that I get every day from Twitter. From anything. I mean, Wall Street Journal, just so much stuff that I don't really share just because I don't want to spam the chat, but I have a lot of stuff always coming my way. Then trade ideas is something that I'm going to be posting in every single morning just for a little bit more detailed layout, because I usually do that 10-minute pre-market review just to make sure everyone's on the same page. But for trade ideas, for anyone that either misses it or whatever, they can see that, and then I will update the trade ideas on the results of them every day. And then obviously profits, because I would love to see what you guys do. I'm sure we're going to be doing some sort of competition with other coaches, whatever. Those guys are much slower traders than I am. So if we do a competition, I am very excited because I think that with doing this, I can definitely get a much faster return than them. So we'll see. Obviously, it puts pressure on me, right? I got to do good. So we'll see what happens, but I'm excited. What's up? Oh, Mara just left. I was gonna say hi. RB, what's going on, my man? What's going on, Zuma? But yeah, so I'm surprised not many people are here. Usually there's at least 6, 7 people here. This is it's pretty quiet. But I mean, I guess I'll start with going over today. I had it, you guys know anytime you want, throw a question in and I will go over it. It's much easier on me. If you want to hop on mic, you can do that as well. If you can't unmute yourself, I think I might be able to do that for you. But Tesla was a good one. I was totally right on it. I didn't execute it as well as I wanted to. I thought about it all day. Typically, this is my setup here. Kind of an opening range break. We got it scaled out on some. We got caught in a little fake out. It's okay. It is what it is. Made a little bit of money on that. I couldn't signal this just because news had just come out. And it was very risky. But the idea was there. 182 is the level I was watching. Let me remark this for everyone. So this white line was kind of what I'm watching. Obviously, it made sense and it was a important level until price bounced around that area 2-3 times. Once we really gave it up, it was a solid sell-off there. So definitely a little bit of money to be made, but it is what it is. I was happy with what I made here, just because I caught the trade pretty nicely. I'm not really on days like today, especially with high impact news coming in tomorrow and the next day, I'm looking for quick little 10-15% scalps. Boom, boom, take my money and leave. So it is what it is. Just once again, another weird day this week. I feel like, I've said that a lot. I don't want you guys to be disappointed in at least my trading recently. I've just been very, very passive. And I think that it's probably the right thing to do. There has been some moves that I feel like I wish I would have caught, but it's chances of you losing money on some of these are very high. So I'd rather be passive and you guys get to just listen to me and learn from reading price action and really see what's going on rather than me showing up and just trying to force a signal every day. I mean, obviously I want to make money every day, but I'm going to be transparent with y'all and I'm going to signal what I'm doing. I'm not sitting here buying things and not telling you what I'm doing. I hate people that do that. I've been in chat rooms that do that. I've followed many people that do that. And it's just fake. I mean, anyone could buy something and take a small loss on it or a big loss or whatever and never tell you. And then on the stuff that they do buy, they tell you to buy it much later than them. They have a better fill. They may make money. They show you, oh, I made $10,000, whatever, but it was a terrible entry, terrible exit, whatever. So it's definitely been very slow for me the last 2-3 weeks, to be honest with you. And I hate it because about a month ago, I was killing it. I mean, 2, 3, 4 months ago, I feel like I was on a really big win streak. But my job is not to try to win every single day. It's to be passive and use solid risk management and show you guys what real trading is like. I mean, I know it's tough, especially for new traders, to look on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or whatever and see these big traders show you profits. But not only can they fake that, not only can they paper trade and show you profits, they can do so many other things just to fool you. They can show you old profits. They can show you fake charts. They can change numbers. They can Photoshop things. So that's why I value live trading with y'all and talking through things so you can really see the realities of things. And believe me, if I could get on here and give you guys a solid trade every single day, I'm going to do it. Obviously, I don't trade 1,000 different strategies. I know what I'm good at. I wait for things that I know that I can read and that are high probable, that I've back tested and that I have been successful on, or I wouldn't be here. So, I mean, I've had huge months. I've had slow months. I've had bad months, whatever. I've been through it all. So, I've already said it a couple of times, but obviously I want to make everyone money. But to me, being transparent and really showing you guys the realities of this stuff goes a long way. And, like I've said, it's tough seeing social media stuff, whatever. But that's why I think this chat's so good, is because you have other analysts and they're going to give you other trade ideas. They're going to give you other trades, different styles, whatever. I'm much quicker. And yes, the percentage gains, the long-term gains could be astronomically bigger than some of the other analysts, but that'll never happen if there's not times like this. So as boring as it is, what I do is extremely risky and extremely hard to do just because it's so quick. I mean, you're almost thinking as fast as a computer. I mean, I'm analyzing multiple things, looking at, you know, order flow, volume, times and sales, price action, all of that stuff. And as flashy and cool as it is, it's extremely hard and very risky. So, what does that mean I have to do? Well, that means I have to put us as a chat, especially when there's a lot of people watching me, into positions that are very high probable. So, um, I don't know. I know I'm kind of rambling, but if you guys have any questions on anything, and honestly, that's why I'm really excited about this whole coaching corner stuff, is because what we're trying to push is basically, besides listening to five different people, um, we would rather you spend, 1, 2, 3 months with one coach and really, really dive deep into their strategy if that's what you want to do. So you can learn it very well and see if that's what you want to do, and also give it time to work out. You can listen for one guy for a week and maybe he has a rough week or makes one or two bad trades, or you don't understand the style and you hold a losing trade longer or whatever, and then you back away from it when really that was probably in the end game that may have been your style that you should have stuck with. Any sort of trading strategy or style or psychology or whatever, um, it's not just going to click instantly. So, what are the main features you watch for when you determine a trade? So, I watch the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. Someone talked to me today during my live trading and said that they don't have real time data on NQ and ES. So for slash NQ, that's what I type in. This is the raw futures of the Nasdaq. And then when I do slash ES, this is the raw futures of the S&P. So it's just personal preference. I watch these. I feel like this is more of what big money guys watch. Obviously, they're going to watch SPY and Q in the Qs, but it's the same thing. So NQ and ES, Nasdaq, and the S&P 500, right? But if I type in QQQ, it's the same thing as NQ, right? It's still the Nasdaq. It's just an ETF, not a future. And then SPY is the same thing. It's an ETF, not the raw future of the S&P 500. So you can watch SPY and the Qs. It's the same thing. But the reason that I watch these is because that all the stocks that I'm trading are really big names, right? Nvidia, Apple, Tesla, Netflix, Amazon, whatever. And they're in these baskets of stocks. So I want to see how Apple is performing compared to the basket that it's sitting in, right? The S&P 500 is the top performing 500 companies, I don't know, in the nation or the world or whatever. So I want to see how the overall basket of those stocks are moving compared to that one individual stock. So today, the market was a little bit choppy at first. Tesla was showing weakness, and then the market did sell off. And then that's when Tesla really caught that move and actually sold off. We've seen the market move up for the last, couple weeks. I mean, really the last couple months, and on a broader view. And Apple was one of the stocks that I was watching for the last couple weeks, just because look what it's been doing. It stayed really, really weak. You haven't seen all-time high after all-time high after all-time high. I mean, just like Bitcoin's doing, just like, NASDAQ, SPY, whatever. So that's why I'm like, okay, well, this stock is really weak. Why? I don't really care, but of course I would like to see some negative news. And so pretty much I'm just like, okay, I like this 180 level that you guys see here. We bounced off it multiple times. If we can just find that one day where the market wants to pull back and really sell off hard, well, this bottom could just give out and Apple could slip. And I mean, Duco, Stickman, I know you guys have heard me talk about this a lot. Sorry. I know you guys have heard me talk about this a lot, and all it took was 1 or 2 days, and this thing dropped $10. I feel like I could have caught a little bit more out of this, but I made some good money last Friday, and a lot of these moves did happen pre-market. So, I mean, Stickman and Duco, I hope you guys remember that. I've talked about this for like weeks and it hasn't happened. And I hope you guys realize that what I was talking about was was true. I mean, look how quickly that move happened. A $10 move on Apple is solid. Yeah. So, anyways, that was something I'm watching. I mean, I'm not going to really watch it much anymore. It's a pretty extended move, so I wouldn't be surprised for a bounce. But on the same note, look what's going on with Tesla. We've seen nothing but all-time highs for the last couple months, and Tesla's done nothing but sell off here. Had a little bit of a bounce. We had the first pretty negative earnings that we've seen in a long time, and then yesterday we saw some bad news out of China. Their Chinese sales were down like 15%. And percentage-wise, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're dealing with, you know, 50, 60, 80, $100,000 cars and you didn't sell 10 or 15,000 more cars than you thought you would, then stock took a hit. Yeah, Stickman, definitely. I mean, that's just kind of what we have to wait on. But I rather be buying something that's really, really extended to the downside than trying to buy something that's already moved so high up because there's just no reason to do that, right? So that's why I'm like, okay, cool. I kind of like this on Tesla. I've got some bad news. Market's way up in the air. So, I'm not going to wait for you guys to give me an answer on this or whatever, but I want you to think about it like this. Market's way up in the air, right? Way, way, way high. Does it make a whole lot of sense? I don't know. I mean, do you think our economy is really good? Do you think everything going on around the world is good? I don't think it's ideal by any means. Credit card debt's through the roof. Housing prices are through the roof. Prices of everything is a lot higher than it was even a year or two ago. So um in our stock market and crypto market are all-time highs. Are there reasons for that? I do think so. I do think foreign money, just because there is some turmoil going on in the world, um, that foreign money is coming into the US markets and crypto markets, and that's why we are seeing all-time highs. But when something is propped up that high, that also means that the pullback can be that much bigger, the bigger they are, the harder they fall or whatever, right? So do I think this will last forever? Definitely not. I mean, I do think we're going to see some sort of pullback at one point. If there's some bad news that comes out in the world, in the economy, whatever, we do have Powell testifying um, the next 2 days. So that's going to be interesting. That could pull the market back, or it could shoot the market even higher. I don't know. But our job isn't to know. Our job is to react to what's going to happen. RB, I'll get to that. What is your absolute do's or don'ts without trading? Yeah, I'll get to that one sec. Let me just finish this point here. So what I'm talking about is, so I'm looking at some weak stocks here, right? Apple's weak, Tesla's weak here. One other one is Google. I don't really trade this much, but Google's been weak. Why? The Gemini stuff, their AI. I mean, I'm not trying to get political here or whatever, but that's been something in the news recently. So I think that's a big reason why Google's been coming down. But the reason I want to keep these on watch is because if and when the whole market kind of catches a top and maybe we see some bad news, because stocks don't just go up, right? When that pullback does come, well, I want to be all my focus on these weak stocks, because they're already weak when the market's strong. So if the whole market pulls back, these might make a solid downside move that I want to be able to catch. So I know that was kind of a long explanation, but that's a big reason why you always need to pay attention to this stuff in a broad sense, because we're in a weird time right now. I mean, honestly, trading right now, at least in these mega caps, is definitely interesting. So, okay, let me answer these questions here. What is your absolute do's and don'ts with trading? So, just like, oh, what's up, Crypto Joe? Definitely, you have to have a trade plan. You have to have solid risk management. Um, I mean, I don't know. I can talk for hours about this stuff on do's and don'ts. You don't want to go in with your whole account. You don't want to over leverage things. You don't want to get greedy. To me, like, the biggest thing is look for base hits. Look for, depending on your account, if you have $1,000 account, you can't expect to make a couple $100 a day. Obviously, it's doable. Obviously, you're going to see people do that, but you can't look to make those astronomical percentages every single day. Be happy with your $20 days. Be happy with your $50 days. There's going to be home runs. Make that money, put it away. Maybe even take it out of your account so you don't just get a big ego and go in with a huge position that next trade and blow it, So I don't know. I mean, have a solid trade plan, have solid risk management rules. Don't go in with a huge percentage of your account. Look for the base hits, stuff like that. I mean, a lot of it's going to come with time. Trading, I mean, the biggest thing is learning from your mistakes. The statistic is like 99% of traders fail or whatever. But honestly, I would argue with anyone who tells me that is 100% of people can walk into a casino. 100% of people can open a brokerage account and buy a stock. If they buy a stock and they lose on it for their first trade and quit, well, I guess they're in the loser group, right? But there are people that have done this. I have worked on trading floors before where there's people that have done this for 40 plus years. So it is doable. It just comes down to the work that you put in, your mindset with it. If you're going to treat it like a casino, well, then the market's going to act as the house and you're over time going to lose money. So a lot of it's just going to come with time and experience and just learning from your mistakes and making the necessary, decisions to get better at it. With anything that's good in life, it's hard. I invest through Cash App. Should I switch platforms? I've got $950 invested. What are your thoughts on Microsoft stock? I mean, okay, so Pokey, if you're looking to just invest and buy some stocks and hold them for a long time, I mean, I don't want to tell you need to like move platforms. If you're looking to day trade or like really get into more of an active style of trading where you're just, you're looking to swing trade or like I said, day trade or, really look at charts and stuff like that, then yeah, definitely you need to switch platforms. I mean, I would get away from Cash App. But if you're just looking to buy some stocks quickly, easily on your phone and hold them for a couple years and look to buy safe stocks, I mean, that's not a bad place to start. I mean, I'd consider that basically just like Robinhood. But if, like I said, if you're looking to actively trade, then you definitely need to move away from that. So yeah, I'll see what your answer is on that, and I'll look at Microsoft for you. I mean, it's been doing pretty good. That's kind of the short answer there. Pushing all-time highs. Is this where I want to be buying long term? Absolutely not. But overall, if you're looking to hold it for 20, 30 years, I don't think this is going to be the all-time high. So I don't know. I mean, it all comes down to your plan. Microsoft's a big name. It's a slow, fundamental, good stock over time. How do you set stop loss quickly when entering a trade fast? So, okay, you can either set a hard stop loss, meaning you have a set price, you set the order. If the stock moves down to your stop loss or whatever and it hits it, you're going to get filled and you're going to be out. I don't do that. There are people that if I'm swinging a stock, meaning I'm holding it for a couple of days, I will set a hard stop, just an order that's out there and pending. But when I'm day trading, I don't have a hard stop loss order set. I do have a stop loss in mind on the chart. So like if I'm trading something on the 1 minute chart, I will have a price level that I know that if we do break here or we don't bounce here, whatever it is, I'm going to be stopping out there. Obviously, with the experience that I have, I know roughly where that price is going to be. So I'm not, it's not like, okay, I'm going to buy this, and if it gets way down here, then I'll sell it. It's not that simple. I'm definitely, I have a monetary stop loss in mind, but also a stop loss on the chart will hit it. But to get out of a stop loss fast, I just use a market order. So I just click sell market and it'll get me out instantaneously at a whatever price that they can fill me at within that second. If you want to sell at a specific price, and that's where a limit order comes in and you set that specific price. Joe, I know. How about that? And then it dumped like $2,000 in 2 minutes. I was watching that happen this morning with Jay. Jay's in here too. That was That was wild. I mean, obviously, I think it's just kind of people were targeting that 70,000. I do think we're going to go higher. But how about, wow, we hit 60? Yeah, market orders do have higher fees, but for y'all that are trading one or two contracts, it's really not that big a deal. It's just a couple cents. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely a psychological short. I'm surprised that we didn't move a little bit higher, only a couple $100. But I think with the speed of this move up to all-time highs, it kind of makes sense. People were just kind of looking at this 70,000 mark and wanted to take some profits, especially with how long it's taken. Well, I guess not really long in the grand scheme of things, but about 2 years since the last all-time high. So pretty crazy. Pretty freaking crazy. Yeah, it dropped $2,000 in about 2 minutes and then dumped all the way to 60. I think long term, I mean, I think we're all in agreement that this could get higher. And I mean, I think 100,000 is definitely doable. I mean, maybe even this year. I feel like maybe that's a little bit crazy to say, but look how fast we went from like 30 to 60 or 70. Yeah, this isn't even a blimp for sure. I think this was more of a psychological profit take kind of thing. I don't know. I have Bitcoin futures here on Thinkorswim. I don't know if it's right or not, but yeah, still pretty wild. Wild day. I wonder how many retail guys were like, "Oh, Bitcoin hit a all-time high. Let's go buy," and now they're down 10%. If they don't cut rates by June, then they won't. Okay, that makes sense. So, what apps on mobile will allow you trade as much as you want daily? Asking this because Cash only allows 3 trades per day. So yeah, I mean that's kind of a regulatory thing, but on your phone, I mean, I don't know. I never really want to condone day trading on your phone. It's just not really realistic to me. I mean, to really take it seriously. Um, but I mean, I always want to. Let me see. My parts community today's prize. Okay, I'm gonna keep going on. So I mean, I always want to advocate for Thinkorswim. It's a free platform, and they have a good mobile app. The screen that you're seeing right now, Pokey, is Thinkorswim. This is on my desktop computer though. The mobile app is very good. It may take a little bit to get used to just because it's going to be a lot more intricate than Cash App, but you can do a cash account on there, and that'll give you unlimited day trades up to the amount of money that you have in your account. So I hope that answered your question. If you have any more on that, just ask away. Bitcoin mine in 2010 was dumped following the all-time high, partially contributing to today's price correction, moving from old hands to new hands. Wow. I mean, let's do a little bit of math here, right? And this isn't going to be exact by any means, but I don't know. The market cap at 70,000, Crypto Joe was probably what? 1.5 trillion, 1.67, around there. Let's just keep a whole number here and do 1.5 trillion, and we move 2.2. Wow, I hit 2. Okay, so let's do 2.2 trillion, and then we dumped from 60 to 70 is roughly 15%. So 2.2 trillion. Let's see here. I can't really type in trillion on my phone. So let's do times 0.1533. So 330 billion roughly got taken off today from 70 down to 30. Again, these are rough estimates, but just doing the math there. 15% move down from 70 to 60, $2.2 trillion market cap. So roughly $300 billion got moved around today on that dump. I wonder what crypto nerds from back in the early 2000s, early 2010s dumped some money today and went and bought a yacht or a Lamborghini. Okay, so with Nvidia, is it too late to buy? I definitely think it's too late to buy for the short term. There's no reason to buy a stock that's up almost, 50, 60% in a matter of like 2, 3 months. You don't want to be buying something up here, Pokey. There's no reason to. You missed the boat. It's whatever. There's always going to be another stock that does this later on. I think Nvidia is a really good company. I think long term it's going to do some good, but I would definitely wait for a decent pullback. There's going to be bear markets. There's going to be, I mean, think about like COVID, and think about all the stuff that happened just 1 year ago. The market had a pretty solid correction, and that's when you want to be buying. You want to be buying when things take dips and are on discount for a long term buy. You don't want to be buying something that's way up here and kind of FOMO, because if you think about it from a big money perspective, guys with billions of dollars, um, even back when crypto hit its all-time high, 2 years ago, all the whales are like, yeah, great, let's sell to all the people that just learned about Bitcoin because they need the liquidity. They have, whatever, thousands of Bitcoins. Think about it like that. They need people to be buying the coins that they're selling. So they want that FOMO to come in. They want people to try to be buying things at the high when it's real popular so they can take some money off the table. And then when it's down real low, when no one's real interested and they're happy to sell their crypto or their stocks or whatever, because it's not moving a lot, it's not going up, maybe people are down on it and they want to get out of their position, that's when people are going to come in and try to buy it. Does that make sense? SK on YouTube, sorry about that. Thoughts on AMD? Let's see. My general thoughts are it's very strong. I mean, it's a semiconductor chip company. It's been doing really good along with NVIDIA, along with SMCI, Micron, whatever. Do I think we could see a new all-time high? Of course. I think we just kind of saw a little bit of a pullback. And I'm bullish on it. I'm not going to try to short a stock like this, but I'm also want everyone to be very careful on where we are right now. Everything's hitting all-time highs. S&P, NASDAQ, stocks, whatever. A lot of things are hitting all-time highs. So all-time highs don't last forever. Bull runs don't last forever. You don't want to be the guy coming in and buying late and then trying to hold. And then you're caught back holding for years waiting for it to come back. So learn from it, understand that things have dips, and that's when you need to be involved long term. Are there chances to maybe day trade this to an all-time high and make some money? Of course, but that's very short term. Maybe one day. Yeah, Jay, that's what I'm talking about. Wait for the coaching section, guys. This is nothing. But yeah, guys, keep throwing questions at me. I love it. And then I'll kind of chart for tomorrow. I'm not live trading tomorrow, but I am Thursday. And I do have that interesting trade idea. Not something I typically trade. It's kind of a, social media dude trade, but it's a setup that I think is very possible to work. And it's a trade where I'm either willing to lose 100% or make multiple hundred or 1,000 or 2% kind of thing. So not something I usually do. It's like, I may throw a couple $100 at it. Maybe you guys should throw 30 or $50 at it and move on just to test it. That's really kind of what I'm doing here. What do you think about Microsoft and Uber tomorrow? Okay, so I went over Microsoft a little bit, but let me look at it again for tomorrow. We did pull back. Again, I'm going to go off of my trading style. I'm not going to try to make up some random trade idea in mind. To me, we've pulled back into range. Market had a pullback day. For everyone listening right now and anyone who might listen to this recording, we have Powell tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern and Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. So that's going to cause a lot of movement, some hesitation, maybe some choppy action. Maybe we just don't know. But it's not our job as day traders to know. We need to sit back and be very patient, and honestly, maybe even just not trade and just watch, because the chances of you getting in a trade that may look good and the whole market reversing because Powell says one specific word that the algorithms don't like, and they reverse everything on you and you lose 20, 30, 50% in a matter of minutes. You just like, why even put yourself in that position? So that's my take on it. It's going to be interesting to watch. Whoever's live trading tomorrow, I'm sure is going to talk about it. I think that we're going to do some sort of broadcast on Powell. He talks to, I believe Congress or the House tomorrow, and then the Senate the next day, something like that. He switches it up um, between the 2 days. So, who knows? I mean, guys, he could say something bad tomorrow and then save it the next day. He could say something bad and buy stocks. I mean, you never really know. There's always some sort of manipulation. I mean, look what old Miss Pelosi's been doing. So, but my main point here is don't put yourself in a position to lose a lot of money on 1 or 2 days. Think long term on this. Why put yourself in a spot where you could lose your whole account in one day and not be able to trade the rest of the year? So, okay, sorry, Zuma. Let me go into Uber. Sorry, I'm just kind of ranting on this stuff. Uber, it's been doing really good. Is it something that I trade day to day? No. But I mean, from a technical standpoint, it's just kind of doing the same thing that everything else is doing. Just pushing all-time highs. It looks really strong. We've gotten a pullback this week, kind of on everything. And could it go higher? Of course. Do I want to buy this dip? I don't think so. Just because chances are it could come down, or maybe it goes up. It's just, to me, I'm more of a short-term guy. So you got to take everything that I say from a short-term perspective. Obviously I understand long-term perspectives. To me, if I'm looking long-term on this, I would want to see a pullback down to this original all-time high, see this kind of base out, and then maybe look to buy it for a reversal kind of thing. To me, that's how I would trade it. It's just not something that I trade every day, so I can't really give you a whole lot on that. If anyone has input on it, though, go ahead. What's the main thing that makes you look at stock to make it tradable? Price action, volume, or chart patterns? RB, honestly, both. Volume's a big thing. Liquidity is a big thing, but that's why I trade the mega cap stuff. Like I said, Tesla, Amazon, Nvidia, Apple, all that, because there's a lot of money that is involved in those every single day. The options, which I trade, are very liquid, so they have a lot of volume, and the spreads are very tight. So meaning that I don't have to pay an extra premium on things and really be in the red whenever I buy an option, because there's not much attention to it. So I stick to those. So there's liquidity, volume, all that stuff. And then definitely I'm more of a price action guy. I do watch the charts. I read price action. I read times and sales. I read level 2. I know you may not know what that is, but these are things that I'm going to go in depth on starting next week when we get to the coaching stuff. So I rather answer broader questions for free, guys. But if it slows up, I can go more in depth in it. But I'm more of a breakout trader as well. So I'm looking for things that are breaking highs or breaking lows. So, on Apple, this is a good example, right? I wasn't really involved in Apple for a while because it was just kind of chopping around here. But I was watching this 180 level for weeks, waiting for it to break through, because this is the exact move that I was looking for. This is a breakdown. A breakout, or up, would kind of be the same move to the upside kind of thing. So these are the moves I'm looking to catch. All the stuff that's in the middle of a range or bouncing around, I try to stay away from as much as I can and not get caught in any of that stuff. Endless amount of knowledge. Well, thank you. Are there specific stocks that people day trade, or is it more based on what looks good that morning? I mean, yeah, everyone kind of has their preference, Charles. I mean, there's guys that trade penny stocks only, that are going to wake up every morning, go on a scanner, meaning they're just going to go on some sort of platform or software and scan for stocks that are, again, this is just for example, that up 100% or down 100%, or whatever. and they'll look at those penny stocks that maybe they have never even looked at before, but they like the price action on them. Some people trade specifically on patterns. Some people trade specifically on news. Some people trade specifically on order flow. It's all preference really on what stocks that you like to trade. I went into just a few minutes ago why I trade what I trade. And again, that's just preference. I like keeping up with these big corporations. I like keeping up with, the overall kind of economic news, at least in our country. I mean, of course, I'll see news, big news in other countries. Um, but, and I'm also interested in these companies, right? I mean, everyone has an iPhone. I have a NVIDIA graphics card. I watch Netflix. I use Instagram, which is Meta, stuff like that. So that's kind of why I keep up with it. And it's just easier for me to read. And I've also traded these same stocks for a couple years. So I know how they move. You understand their personalities per se. Like Tesla's more volatile name, or at least used to be. Nvidia is now a crazy mover. Apple, Amazon, Netflix are slower movers. Netflix doesn't have a lot of volume and liquidity typically, unless there's some big news on it, because that's when I'm going to get involved. Boeing, same thing. So it all really comes down to style. But if you have any more questions on that, I'd be happy to answer. Hope that makes sense. Some people, yeah, and some people only trade SPY. They only trade futures, and it works for them. To me, that's not really what I do, because I rather use futures as just another indicator slash confirmation on what I'm looking at. Like I was talking about earlier, SPY and the Qs are like a basket of names, and I trade bits and pieces of that basket. So I want to see how the overall basket's moving, along with my individual name. Jay, get some sleep, my man. Thank you for being here. Yeah, go trade with Jay in the morning for sure. Okay, so if there's any other questions, shoot them my way, but I do want to get into this one trade idea. I have an AMD GPU, so I'm more on you are on Team Red. The Ryzens aren't bad though. I don't know what made me go NVIDIA, but just did. I'm Team NVIDIA forever, I feel like. AMD CPU, NVIDIA GPU, so I'm split. Okay. I have an Intel. I have the i9. I don't know if that's good or not. Well, I mean, I know i9 is good, but I don't know if Intel, if there's better processors. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know what he's doing up right now. So okay, so let me get into this little trade idea here. So okay, this isn't something that I do a lot, and for you regulars, you're gonna know that it's not something that I ever do. But I do want to test it because this one dude I've been following for a while, and I actually kind of like this setup. He's a guy who's going to go in with a very, very, very small amount of his account or just monetary value in general, and he's looking for a massive move on options. Not necessarily the stock. I mean, he has caught some crazy moves. He did catch the entire AMD move. He did catch the entire SMCI move. He did catch some ARM. He has caught some of these crazy squeezes recently. He even caught some of the early PLTR move in here. So PLTR is actually the name I'm going to be looking at. And pretty much, and again, this is something that I'm probably going to throw like $100 at and try it. I'm not going with my account. I honestly am hesitant to even tell you guys about this without stressing enough that this is probably a less chance of going into a casino with your eyes closed. Okay. But he has shown that he can do multi-1,000% trades. And again, this is not something I'm going to signal. This isn't something that I'm going to talk about probably ever again. But for you guys that are here, I will go over it. So he did post today that PLTR. Let me just pull it up. You guys can follow him on Twitter if you want. His name's Morgan Trades. He's one of those idiots that does all the Lambos and whatever. But he's caught some really wild trades recently that I'm basically just going to test. So we'll we'll see how this goes. But he's talking about PLTR, and he basically trades the same pattern every time. So I do understand where he's coming from the patterns, but he has shown some crazy gains here, guys. I mean, 2,200% here, and I I know enough to know that these are real. But again, you got to think. Look how much money he's going in with here. SMCI. He has two contracts, and he paid $570, and he made 8,000 on here. Five contracts, he paid $430. And of course, I'm also one of the guys who are like, okay, well, you can make a couple $1,000s a trade. Why not put 1,000 or 2,000 in and try it? So again, take this with a grain of salt. I just wanted to share this with y'all because it's interesting. This is real. Again, it could be Photoshop because it's not a video, but I've followed him for probably 2 years now, and I've seen him do really good. Obviously, there are trades that lose. Everyone loses trades, but I'm not mad at throwing $100 at this to possibly make 1,000. Maybe five. I'd be happy with $500. You know what I mean? So he's talking about PLTR, and a lot of things he says do make sense. The 10 and 20-day simple moving average has caught up to the price action. They had really good earnings after being down for a while because it used to be up here around $25, $30 a share. The tech sector has pulled back, which could give things a bounce. And what he's going to be looking at is, so he also talks about the average daily move. It's around 5.5%. $30 is only 22% away from where we are right now, meaning if we do on average move 5.5% up 4 days in a row, we're going to be at 30. And this is why his percentages are huge. This is the contracts he's going to be looking at. I don't know where it is. It's right here. March 15, 30 calls. So I looked at these today. March 15, $30 calls are $4. And when I mean $4, I don't mean $400. I mean literally four $1 bills. So if these go to $8, that's a 100% move. At the money is $86. So if they go from 4 to 86, that's how he has these massive gains. But this is where he's really good at what he does, is because he's okay with having more losers than winners. But on the winners, he can only lose 100% because he's not shorting, right? He's buying options for pennies on the dollar. And on the big winners that he does catch, well, he's making multi-100%, multi-1,000% trades, and he's turning a few $100s into a couple thousand. So, right, exactly. So I'm like, there's open. And so then to me, I get technical on it. I'm like, okay, well, there's 23,000 open interest on these 30 calls expiring for next week. Interesting. We're at 2380, call it 24. 30 really isn't that far considering how quickly this thing can move. It's a squeeze name. Okay, so then I go in the charts. I'm like, all right, let's look at these charts real quick. Well, PLTR IPO'd here. We had a crazy squeeze up to 45, chopped around in this area, pulled all the way back down into $5 or $6 a share, had some good earnings. We beat on earnings really well. We bounced back up. Well, we're sitting in the zone that you see that I have drawn here, right? So we could easily fall back to 22 and give it up. Whatever. I'm okay with. That's why I'm telling you guys, if you take this, you need to go in with money that you are completely fine with losing. So I'm probably going to go in with $100, try this, maybe even $50. I don't even know, maybe $30. I might buy 10 contracts. But if those 10 contracts go to $50 a pop, well, that's $500. You know what I mean? And you paid $30. So understand, please, 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 that this could easily go to zero. Do not come after me if this goes down. But I can see a decent setup when I notice it. He trades the same setups a lot, and I have to DM you on a bit what we're talking about, or I can rewatch. Yeah, Duco, just DM me, man, or text me. I don't care. I'll help you out. But so basically his trade idea is if we can close above 24.41, interesting level to me, but I do have an alert here. If we can close above this, we're kind of breaking some sort of a downtrend here. I mean, again, guys, I'm just testing this, but I'm using my knowledge to also analyze this as well. We have a little downtrend here. I mean, look what NVIDIA did. I mean, sorry, AMD. I want you to look at AMD as well. We kind of had the somewhat of a similar move, right? Big move up, it kind of chopped around a bit, a little bit of a downtrend here. and it just, it just takes 1 or 2 days and this thing will just rip 10, 15, 20%. IV will go up on the contracts, which are going to bring them up a lot. And especially if you're buying contracts for $3 or $4 a pop. Well, if IV brings them up $2 or $3, that's 100% gain. So again, this is very unrealistic. Chances of this happening are low. I wanted to put this in front of you guys just to maybe buy one contract, spend $5, whatever, just to try it, and we'll see what happens. Of course, chances are low, but if this does work, it's pretty cool. So I don't know. I follow again. This isn't someone I just found today. I followed him for a very long time. I've never taken his trades. I'm not opposed to this. I'm not opposed for a $3 contract to buy in on this, and especially if we can get back above 25. I love this 25 number as well. We get back above here, buyers hold it. We see a new high. I mean, a $4 move out of this isn't the craziest thing in the world. PLTR is a name that used to be very popular, and now it's kind of coming back to life. Maybe there's a lot of short interest on it. I haven't really looked into it, but it has all the chance in the world to squeeze higher. So I just want to put this in front of you guys. If you're interested, you guys know that, at least you regulars know, this isn't something I do ever. But I think risk to reward wise, I'm going to test it. I'm going to try it. And I understand that it's very, very possible that I will lose. So it is what it is. That's where it was both AMD didn't have another problem. Let's see. Yeah, cool. Well, that kind of concludes my stream, guys. Honestly, I mean, I'm gonna be very, very laid back tomorrow on the sidelines, waiting for Powell to talk. He talks 30 minutes after the open, so I really don't want to get involved in anything too early. I kind of want to just let him get out of the way. I'm sure we're gonna do some sort of live stream on it. I know Jay is streaming during that, so I'll be active in the chats watching, but I can bet you that I probably won't even take a trade tomorrow. So, but spring break is next week, so I will be I'll be off from school at least. So, hope you guys have some fun plans coming up. And yeah, I mean, if there's any last questions, go ahead. If not, we'll wrap it up here. But I'll just say it one more time. March 15th, 30 calls, $30 strike on PLTR. They're about $3 or $4 a pop. And it looks like there's enough volume, at least even today, for us to all be able to get in. So thanks, Zuma. I feel like I talk a lot tonight, but it was good. I like this. It's better than me having to make stuff up to talk about. So thanks, Joe. Thanks for coming, my man. Maestro, thank you as well. Guys, as always, it was super fun. And we'll see what tomorrow brings. Maybe one of you guys will buy me lunch with some PLTR gains. Let's cross our fingers. But yeah, I hope you guys we're doing the coaching stuff next week. So I'm interested to see who's going to come on my team and deep dive into some day trading stuff with me for the next month or two. All right, guys. You all have a good night. Thanks again for showing up, and I'll see you in the morning. Take care.